Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about the calculation of wavelength maximum for dienes, polyenes and alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds. We know that in simple alkenes there will be pi to pi star transition in the far UV region, and we find that presence of conjugation in a compound brings about a bathochromic shift, that is a shift of lambda maximum to longer wavelength. So compounds with a greater extent of conjugation will have their lambda maximum shifted to near UV region or even visible region. For example, this is a conjugated compound buta-1,3-diene. Its lambda maximum is found to be 217 nanometer. Whereas for an isolated diene like hexa-1,4-diene, their lambda maximum will be lower than 217 nanometer because conjugation will increase the lambda maximum value. Then the conjugated pi system responsible for the absorption is called the chromophore. So this is a chromophore. Then what do you mean by oxochromes? The groups attached to the chromophore have a substantial effect on the value of lambda maximum. Such a groups are called oxochromes. For example, the presence of alkyl groups. This is our chromophore, that is a conjugated system. These two CH3 groups are attached to this chromophore. So, these two alkyl groups are known as oxochromes. The presence of alkyl groups increases the value of lambda maximum by about 5 nanometer per alkyl group. So, how can you calculate the lambda maximum value of this compound? We know that this is our chromophore. Its lambda maximum value is 270 nanometer. That is the basic compound buta-1,3-diene. These two methyl groups are attached to this chromophore. So, lambda maximum will be 217 plus 2 into 5. That is equal to 227 nanometer. This is another compound 2-methyl buta-1,3-diene. This is our chromophore and this is our oxochrome attached to the alkyl group attached to this chromophore. Then what will be the lambda maximum value? Lambda maximum equal to 217 plus 5, which is equal to 222 nanometer. Next is the case of conjugated cyclic dienes. In conjugated cyclic dienes, the diene chromophore is usually held rigidly in either the cissoid or the transoid orientation. What do you mean by cissoid orientation? With respect to sigma bonds, the two double bonds are cis. Such a orientation is known as cissoid orientation. That is S cis. Here S represents sigma bond. With respect to sigma bond, the two double bonds are cis. Then such a cyclic conjugated diene is known as homoannular diene. Then what is transoid orientation? With respect to carbon single bond or sigma bond, the two double bonds are in trans orientation. That is called the transoid orientation. Such a cyclic conjugated diene is known as heteroannular diene. The presence of a homoannular diene moiety locked in cissoid conformation generally produces an increase of 39 nanometer in the lambda maximum of the substance. The basic lambda maximum for a conjugated homoannular diene is 253 nanometer, whereas the lambda maximum for a conjugated heteroannular diene is 214 nanometer. Next, what do you mean by endocyclic and exocyclic double bonds? An endocyclic double bond has both carbons as part of the ring, while an exocyclic double bond has only one carbon as part of the particular ring under consideration. In other words, carbon-carbon double bond inside a ring is endocyclic, while that projects directly outside a ring is called exocyclic double bond. It should be understood that a double bond, while being endocyclic to one ring, may be exocyclic to another ring. Sometimes the same double bond may be exocyclic to two rings. For example, here is an exocyclic double bond and exocyclic two ring X, and this double bond is an endocyclic two ring Y. Here is another compound. It has three rings X, Y and Z. Here this double bond is endocyclic to ring Y, and it is exocyclic to two rings X and Z, which means that is equivalent to two exocyclic double bonds. Exocyclic double bond increases 5 nanometer per ring, and if the same double bond happens to be exocyclic to two rings, 2 into 5, 10 nanometer will be increased. Next is Woodward-Fieser rules. What do you mean by Woodward-Fieser rules? It enables us to predict the wavelengths at which acyclic and cyclic dienes and polyenes will absorb. This is the calculation of wavelength maximum for acyclic dienes and polyenes based on Woodward-Fieser rules. The basic lambda maximum for a conjugated diene is 217 nanometer. Add 30 nanometer for each additional double bond extending conjugation. Then add 5 nanometer for each alkyl substituent or a ring residue on the doubly bonded carbons, and add 5 nanometer for each exocyclic double bond, if any. If the same double bond happens to be exocyclic to two rings, 2 into 5, that is 10 nanometer is to be added. For example, calculate the lambda maximum for this compound. This is an acyclic conjugated system. This is our chromophore, and it is attached with the 3 alkyl substituents. These two are ring residue and this is one alkyl substituent. So totally 3 alkyl substituents. Then what will be the lambda maximum? Basic value is 217 nanometer. 217 plus 5 into 3. That is 217 plus 15 nanometer, which is equal to 232 nanometer. This is another example. Calculate the lambda maximum for this compound. Here also it is acyclic chromophore diene. So basic value is 217 nanometer. 217 plus ring residues are 2, 1, 1. So 2 into 5, 10 nanometer. Then this is our exocyclic double bond. So plus 5 nanometer. So totally 217 plus 10 plus 5, which is equal to 232 nanometer. This is another example. Calculate the lambda maximum for this compound. Here this is our chromophore. So basic value 270 nanometer. This is additional double bonds. So plus 30 per one additional double bond. So 270 plus 30 into 2. So totally 217 plus 60 nanometer, that is equal to 277 nanometer. Next is the Woodward-Fieser rule for homoannular diene and heteroannular diene. For homoannular diene, basic lambda maximum is 253 nanometer, and for heteroannular diene, basic lambda maximum is 214 nanometer. For additional double bond, plus 30 for homoannular and heteroannular diene. Then alkyl substituent or ring residue plus 5 nanometer for homoannular and heteroannular diene. Then for exocyclic double bond plus 5 nanometer for homoannular diene and heteroannular diene. Then for polar groups like chlorine, bromine plus 5 nanometer for homoannular and heteroannular diene. For OR group plus 6 nanometer for homoannular and heteroannular diene. For example, calculate the lambda maximum for this homoannular diene. So basic lambda maximum is 253 nanometer. Then these two alkyl substituents and these two ring residue. So lambda maximum will be 253 plus 4 into 5, that is plus 20 nanometer, and we get 273 nanometer. This is another example. Here also homoannular diene, and this is ring residue, this is ring residue, this is also ring residue, and this is also ring residue. So total 4 ring residue. So lambda maximum will be 253 nanometer plus 4 into 5, that is 20. Again we get 273 nanometer. Another example, calculate the lambda maximum for this compound. This is a heteroannular diene, so the basic value is 214 nanometer. Then this is ring residue, this is also ring residue, this is ring residue, and this is also ring residue. So we get 4 ring residues. So 4 into 5 plus 20 nanometer. Then this is exocyclic double bond to this ring, and this is exocyclic double bond to this ring. So totally 2 exocyclic double bonds. So 2 into 5, that is plus 10 nanometer. Then another double bond, this is extent of conjugation, that is additional double bond. So plus 30 for one additional double bond. So plus 30. Then we get totally 274 nanometer. Next is the case of alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds. There will be pi to pi star transition and n to pi star transition in the case of carbonyl alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds. But structural modifications, for example substituents, extended conjugation, exocyclic double bonds, etc. All these are structural modifications. These structural modifications to the chromophore affect the lambda maximum of the pi to pi star transition in a predictable manner. Whereas the structural modifications to the chromophore doesn't affect the lambda maximum of the n to pi star transition in a remarkable way. So here we consider only pi to pi star transition in the case of calculation of lambda maximum for alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds. This is called Woodward-Fieser-Scott rules. For alpha beta unsaturated acyclic ketone or 6-membered ring ketone, basic value is 215 nanometer. Then alpha beta unsaturated 5-membered ring ketone, basic value is 202 nanometer. Alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde, basic value is 207 nanometer. For alpha beta unsaturated acids or esters, basic value is 197 nanometer. Then plus 30 for additional double bond, same as our conjugated diene. Plus 5 for exocyclic double bond, same as our conjugated diene. Then plus 39 nanometer for each homoannular diene component. Then for alkyl residue or ring residue, if it present at alpha position, plus 30 nanometer. If it is at beta position, plus 12 nanometer. If it is at gamma position, plus 18 nanometer. If it is at delta position, plus 18 nanometer. Then if OH group present at alpha position, plus 35 nanometer. At beta position, plus 30 nanometer. At gamma position, plus 30 nanometer. At delta position, plus 50 nanometer. Similarly, if chlorine present at alpha position, plus 15 nanometer. At beta position, plus 12 nanometer. At gamma position, plus 12 nanometer. And delta position, plus 12 nanometer, etc. Then solvent correction. We know that in a solvent more polar than ethanol, for example water, pi to pi star transition shifts to longer wavelength as compared to ethanol. In a less polar solvent, for example chloroform, it shifts to shorter wavelength. Therefore, in order to get the lambda maximum value for the pi to pi star transition band in any solvent other than ethanol, the following correction has to be incorporated. So, for water, plus 8 nanometer. For methanol, 0 nanometer. For chloroform, minus 1 nanometer, etc. For example, calculate the lambda maximum for the compound in ethanol. So there is no solvent correction value. Then this is an alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. This is alpha position and this is our beta position. So there is one alkyl substituent at alpha position and two alkyl substituents at beta position. This is acyclic ketone. So basic value is 215 nanometer. Plus For alpha substituent, for alkyl substituent plus 10 nanometer. Then for beta substituent plus 12 nanometer. So 12 into 2, 24 nanometer. So totally we get 249 nanometer. This is another example. This is alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, and there is no alkyl substituent or ring residue at alpha position, and there is 2 ring residue at beta position. This is our beta position, this is alpha position. And this is 5-membered ketone. So basic value is 202 nanometer. So 202 plus 2 ring residue. So 12 into 2. So 24. Then here this double bond is exocyclic to this ring. So plus 5 nanometer. Totally we get 231 nanometer. This is another example. This is 6-membered alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. So basic value is 215 nanometer. Then here no ring residue at alpha, no alkyl substituent at beta, no ring residue at gamma, and there is 1 ring residue at delta. So plus 18 nanometer for 1 ring residue. Then this is homoannular diene component present in this compound. So plus 39 for homoannular diene component. Then this is extent conjugation. That is this is additional double bond from alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. So plus 30 for additional double bond. Then totally we get 302 nanometer. This is the Woodward-Faeser's court rule for the calculation of lambda maximum of alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. Then finally we have to discuss about what are the applications of electronic spectroscopy in organic chemistry. First one, identification of compounds. Then detection of functional groups, that is chromophores. Unknown chromophores can be detected using UV visible spectroscopy. Then third one, identification of geometrical isomers, that is trans isomers have higher lambda maximum and epsilon maximum as compared to their cis counterparts. So that can be enable distinguishing one from the other by recording their electronic spectra. Then last application is study of conjugation. Presence of conjugation shifts lambda maximum to higher values. That can be recorded in using electronic spectra. These are the important applications of electronic spectroscopy. Another applications are impurity detection, study of tautomeric equilibria, then study of strain, etc. These are UV visible spectroscopy. Hope it is clear.